There we go. There we go. Episode 4 of the Bro Code podcast has started. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm tired. So, y'all be patient with me if my mind trails off, dude. I'm like literally two actives, two 20-minute power naps, and a coffee into this day. And I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't wake up. I don't know why. I don't know what the heck it is. It's rainy and cloudy here in Florida and 40 degrees. Maybe that's got something to do with it, but
Mhm.
that and coach kept us out in 40-degree thunderstorm last night, probably a little longer than we should have been, and I'm kind of kicking myself for that one. I was like, when the kids start, telling you that their hands or they can't feel their hands anymore, I was like, okay, maybe we should go inside. Yeah, but guys, thank you all for tuning in, man. For those of you listening, for those of you watching, I'm Ian Thurber and here with my co-hosts John Lester and Mike McGrail. What's going on, fellas?
How's it going?
It's
Doing good,
going. You
man.
you heard how I'm going. How are you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Now you didn't get any snow down that way, did you, Ian?
No, Panama City got like 9 inches, bro. I don't even know what the heck that's about. I kind of wish it came down a little this way, but 9 inches, dude. I've been watching my wife's been showing me like the memes and the TikToks about Floridians and snow, and it's just what you would think it is. No one knows what to do with it. It's hilarious.
Shut it down. Shut down the state.
I'm pretty sure that's it. They're just like, you know what? This
Yeah,
is this is outside our realm of expertise. We're done. We're just shutting it down.
shut it down. I mean, meanwhile, up in our neck of the woods in Vermont, we were playing outdoor street hockey in negative like 6 degree weather for our high school winter carnival. And it's
Bro,
just what we do.
there we
Heck
go,
yeah.
man. That's the
It's
way
what
to
we
do
do.
it. Yeah, yeah, make the best of it, dude. Snowball fights,
Yep.
sledding, whatever.
Sledding. We had big tug of wars out in the snowbanks. Kids were digging into the snow, getting their foothold for tug of war. I mean, it's just what we do.
Oh, I
Let's
love
get
it.
back.
I love it. Mike, what's the weather like on you, man? It's probably pretty chilly as well.
We're in the 20s, which
Mm,
isn't too crazy for this time of year in North Carolina, but we have probably 6 inches of snow on the ground, which is very, very different.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys don't normally
We
get snow?
we never get snow. I'm fortunate. Literally from where I'm sitting in my seat right here to the ocean, I can hear when the wind is coming from the west. I can hear the ocean on days that it's ripping. It's probably 2.5, 3 miles as a bird flies,
Cool.
and we're only a couple hundred yards from the water. Like, very fortunate to live where we live.
Heck yeah.
But that brings a lot of warm air. So even during the winter storms, for that air to shift and become cold to allow snow to happen, it's so unusual. It just, it was supposed to stop snowing at 6 a.m. and then at 8 a.m. And I put in an overnight just helping out at the fire department last night, and 10:30, I'm cleaning up the kitchen after cooking breakfast, and I look out, and it's just dumping snow at
Gosh,
10:30 this morning, all the way through probably noon. It was crazy. Yeah,
that's insane.
yeah, yeah. It was pretty wild.
Oh, man. Any,
Quiet. It worked out.
that's good. I was just about to ask. It either goes one way or the other. Like, it's
Yeah,
either people freak out and call all night, or they're just like, you know what? I ain't going out in this.
and that was it. People were respectful of it. Like all of the local, we're kind of on island time
Okay.
because of like the nature of where we're at. So people are like, yeah, my business just isn't opening tomorrow and probably not Thursday, and maybe we'll take Friday.
Nice.
They're used to it. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Island time's where it's at, man. We
Yeah.
all need to get there ASAP. That'd
Yep, we
be,
do.
that'd be good. Hey, well, that's enough weather talk. I'm sure y'all are sick of us talking about the weather already. It's just weird. Florida is weird, so it's throwing me off. And then I gotta tell everybody, and John and Michael are sick of hearing me talk about it. So because they're like, yeah, it's normal for us, man. I don't know what you're freaking out about. It's just cold. Get over it. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna get over it. It sucks. It's the wind. It's the wind. If it
The wind.
wasn't
Wind is
windy,
brutal.
oh my gosh, if it wasn't windy, I'd be able to take it. But it's like literally, it was raining last night. The rain was coming down sideways. I'm like, this is dumb. This sucks. I don't like this. And that's where it's at. That's what gets me. But tonight's topic, I guess that could be part of
That's actually a good
controlling
lead in. That's
emotions,
actually a
right?
great. That's a
Thank you.
lead in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like I
Well
planned
done.
it. Thank you, thank you. Emotional intelligence when it comes to leadership and everything. It's controlling your emotions. I guess I controlled them a little bit because I didn't go complain to the coach that why we were out there, but maybe I should have. I don't know. But I do have this fun cough that came with the change of change of weather drastically, and it won't go away. Emotions, men. This is a topic that's pretty taboo in our world, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most guys might be turning off the podcast right now and being like, I don't do emotions. Never mind.
Yeah.
Next. Give me the next episode.
You know, yeah, if you're one of those, hang tight, because
Yeah.
we
We'll
got some
challenge you.
stuff for you. We got a firefighter, a marine, and a teacher. If we don't know something about controlling emotions, and if we haven't learned a thing or two, I don't know who has, man. I mean, honestly, let's just be honest.
Mhm.
Not to pat ourselves or anything on the back, but three of the top most stressful freaking careers that you could possibly have. Teaches you a lot about emotional control, regulation. It teaches you a lot about the empathy, sympathy, all of it, man. Managing your emotions one on one. Why? Excuse me. Y'all are gonna love that on the audio, I'm sure. Uh, I apologize. What what are some just off the bat, off the top of your head from y'all's different career and upbringing? What are just some why is emotional regulation for men important? Why do you think that this day and age it's such a taboo topic? I still feel like men are told to sit down, shut up, and mind your own business. I kind of feel like we do it a lot to ourselves. The brotherhood in the fire service, at least, is very like, hey, you good? I want to make sure you're good. Outside of a yes or no, you do have those crews that are really tight and they know and they look after their people and stuff like that. But as a whole, it puts off a very good vibe of, brotherhood and everything. But you get into it and we're still losing we're still losing people to suicide every year.
Yeah.
That shows that we're not doing the right things. That shows we're not asking the right questions. We can preach brotherhood and care all we want, but like emotions are important, and just be told to be like, hey, you're fine, you got 2 days to figure it out in between shift, is just not cutting it. What do you guys think?
I guess I'll go ahead and start. And before I get too deep into it, I'm gonna caveat. I probably got 4 or 5 hours last night. Uh, I took a nap just before jumping on here, so I'm kind of with you, Ian. Man, it's been a day. You know, we it's okay to have emotions, and I think that's the one thing. Like, I will say that I catch myself having emotions. I saw my daughter today playing in the snow, and it took me back to when she was 7 or 8 years old, and I was like, oh, just give me this moment.
Mm.
Give me a moment of not having, and I'm thrilled to have a teenage daughter. She is so talented. She's so smart. But it was like going back in time. And I was like, man, this is cool. At the same point in time, there are times that maybe we come home and as dads, husbands, parents, maybe we're not at that point in life yet, but figuring out, like, as we look in the mirror, who are we showing up for? It's okay to acknowledge all of the feelings and to say, why are they there? Why do I feel the way that I feel? And if we can actually get to the root of that question, because it's not like the first answer that comes up with why do I feel the way that I feel, that's not the real deep
Mm,
answer to
yeah,
what it is 9 times out of 10. But if you
right.
can get to the root of that, you can break up whatever it is that's going on and actually address the situation. One of my favorite sayings is disappointment is the divide between expectation and reality. And I think when it comes to your actual emotion, like disappointment being a big emotion that's very familiar to so many people, if we can figure out what the expectation is, we can change the expectation. We can also change the
Sure.
reality. But we need to figure out which one we're going to change when it comes to that one particular emotion.
Yeah, for sure. Acknowledging your emotions first is just so huge, right? And it's kind of where we make the cut is like, okay, even in parenting, right? I catch myself doing this, and I promised myself I would never do this, and I catch myself doing it, and so I got to go back and reword things because my parents used to do it to me. Nothing against them or whatever. It's just different generations or whatever. Like, hey, why do you feel like that? Why are you doing that? Stop it. Just knock it off. Stop it. And I see other parents doing it too, and it bugs me because it bugs me when I do it. So I got to catch myself and be like, no, especially for kids. I know this is a little different, but especially for kids, man, they don't know how to regulate their emotions. asking even adults, adults who have no idea how to regulate their emotions, and they're just acting out, being like, "Why are you like that, man? Stop it." We kind of tease each other a lot, like, why are you like you, man? Why are you doing stuff like that? It's not getting to the core of the issue. It's not allowing them to feel their feelings. So they're like, "Oh, well, I can't act like that. I can't be me. I don't know why I act like that even. So I guess I'm just weird or I'm wrong." And that, of course, that brings up a whole bunch of other issues on top of that. But helping them get to the root, dude, is it. That's the first step. Whether in parenting with your kids, I mean, like, hey, you're upset. Let's figure out why you're upset. I tell my son all the time, it's okay to feel this way. It's not okay to act this way. So let's figure out what the difference is and work with it. But even as adults, man, just figuring out that the ability to connect with yourself and be like, yep, I'm feeling this way and it's okay. But like you said, Mike, like dig into the why. Why am I feeling this way? And it might take more than just a conversation. It might take more than 1 or 2 sessions with a good counselor. There's a whole bunch of different venues to go, but yeah, that's where it starts. I 100% agree.
Mentioned counselor, and John, I apologize if I cut you off there, man. I will say, so my wife and I do an app every day. This is a shameless plug. I'm not getting anything out of it. It's just shameless. We do an app every day, and we've been consistent with that app for more than a year. Every day we answer a little bit about our relationship. And a few days ago, the question was, what is the hardest thing you've ever gone through as a couple? So within the story of how I built my business and my motivation and everything, I got fixed back in 2016. The day after I got fixed, I woke up heavily medicated, and my wife was hysterical. We knew that my mom at 79 years old was on her deathbed. So to wake up, find my wife in that condition, worst case comes to mind. Never would have imagined her mom was found passed away on her bedroom floor that morning. Like, totally not even on the radar.
Right.
18 days later, my mom passed away. And that entire grieving cycle was brutal, but to the point, counseling is everything that we needed. And for anybody out there who is ever at a position that they're like, man, like maybe we should talk to somebody, if you're thinking about it already, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Find somebody who is just willing to let you get it out, to ask those questions that maybe you're not ready to ask yourself. God, that's almost 9 years ago now. So we were halfway through our marriage for where we are right now. We were literally like halfway there.
Wow.
And thank God we did that. I hate to think of what would have happened, but like counseling, no shame. Do it. For all the people that we see. They're like, oh man, they made it 50, 60, 70 years. It wasn't without work.
Right. It's
It's all
that
work.
didn't just come naturally. I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
John, what are your thoughts? Counseling saved my marriage too, by the way. 100% did. We can get more into that at a different topic, but 100% saved my marriage. If nothing else, than to just go and just word vomit to a counselor who's going to hear it and be like, all right, I'll help you kind of pick apart some things, but we good? You good? You feel better? Just to get it out so it doesn't come out at your spouse or your kids. Give you a couple pointers along the way, and then you can be like, oh, well, that makes sense why I'm like that. Okay, so I can change that, and then move on, if for nothing else. So sorry, John. I asked you a question and then I ran right over it. I'm not going to let
Yeah,
you
it's
speak it all
fine. It's
tonight.
like
You,
you
you
asked me
spoke enough
something. I
last
mean,
time. It's whatever. Your time's up.
I'm just gonna just nod my head and just smile tonight. It's great. I'm the energetic one tonight. I'm just like, these guys are rolling with it. They're crushing it. But no, I'm just gonna, second that plug to the counseling piece. And because I think, unfortunately, counseling gets such a bad rap and it's like such a taboo word in today's society. It's like, by saying you need counseling, you're saying that something's broken. You're saying that something's wrong. You're saying that there's some part of you that needs help. And it's okay to acknowledge that you need help. And I think that's actually
Yeah.
healthy. I was told this once and I thought it was genius that they decided that they were going to schedule counseling once a year. Once a year. They called it their annual checkup. And it was for their marriage, actually. Not even necessarily that they needed counseling at the time, but they viewed it as kind of like an oil change or a tune-up. Once a year, they could just go check in with this counselor who was, non-biased and kind of a third party, talk about the highs and lows of the year or whatnot. And they always came out of it feeling like their marriage was in a better spot. And so don't be
That's
afraid to
that's
even
an
just be
awesome idea.
proactive with it too. I mean, because it can be really, really beneficial for all aspects of life, not just your marriage, but maybe how you parent, how
Oh,
you
yeah.
deal with, colleagues, all the things, right?
Yeah.
There's so much there. So definitely, I just want to give that plug for the counseling piece. But yeah.
That's like a great idea. I never would have thought of that. Just kind of like a check-in. That's
That's a
cool.
cool comparison too. Like we take care of our car, we take care of our house.
Hmm.
Right.
Like
That's it.
hopefully we do preventative maintenance on the things that really matter to us and the things that we really care about.
Precisely.
Like what is the one thing that we want to last a lifetime when it comes to, that particular case? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Marriage is good, and we will have plenty of episodes on that for sure where we can bring that in. But this one is just trying to. I want to. This is so heavy, man. Quite honestly, of course it would be like a deep topic on the night where like I'm just struggling to think, but it can go any way, and I just really want to make sure that if you're listening to this or watching this or whatever, that if you've been told that your feelings don't matter, you've been told that, suck it up, buttercup, whatever, any of that, tough guy, stuff that we tell each other from time to time, that, dude, your feelings do matter. Like, that's what I just want to, like, drive home tonight is like, your feelings matter. You're allowed to feel how you feel. They're valid. Now, whether that comes from a part of you that's, right or wrong, for lack of a better term, now that's different. That's after you, like Mike said, you dive further into it and, you figure out why you're feeling the way you are. But to toss aside your feelings or to have someone toss aside your feelings is messed up. It's not weak to admit you have feelings. God made us with feelings for a reason, right? They're good. They lead us, they guide us, they teach us about ourselves. Like, and the closer we get with God, the more in tune I feel that we are to our feelings because of the way that He can speak through those feelings and use them to kind of nudge us in different directions. And being empathetic to others is such a good way of doing that. And I feel like as a society, as a male society, we fail a lot because we just kind of, tell our buddies to toughen up. Oh, Sheila, you got a divorce? That sucks, man. You're better off without her. Like it doesn't even have to be like straight. It just got to be like dismissive little comments, that maybe we don't even think of at the time, that looking back, you're like, well, that didn't really help anything at all. I'm sure he's actually going. And then we wonder why they go, start drinking and driving, as they're going through a divorce. We're like, oh, he fell off the wagon. He must be really going through a hard time. Yeah, because you told him to get over it. It was, maybe not you directly, but, maybe other people too. We're like, you'll be fine, man. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Whatever. We just brush each other's feelings off. And I think a lot of it has to do with our fear of either sounding weak ourselves by asking another guy about his emotions, or just some false sense of like, I don't know, maybe fear's just where it's at. Like, by asking someone else about their emotions, man, not only am I gonna look weak, but it's gonna sound kind of weird, coming from another guy. Guys don't talk about our emotions, I don't want to be that one to make it awkward or anything. I mean, empathy is huge. It's huge. And well, I mean, one of the most common things that I noticed after I've lost buddies to suicide has been how many people that were closer to them than I was commenting and saying, I wish I would have reached out more. I wish I would have asked, a different, how he was doing. They noticed, but it's too late at that point. Right? I'm not nothing against them at all. They were really good friends to these people. They're really close. Unfortunately, people that are struggling with that mental illness hide it very well. It's a unfortunate side effect is most of the time they're able to hide it very well, even from those that they love. But like, empathy is such a huge thing that we are lacking in this society, especially as men. And I've rambled a little bit, so y'all can throw your thoughts in as to like empathy and manliness and manhood, and maybe like the difference between empathy and sympathy, because those are two totally different things.
John, you want to?
Oh, I can. I mean,
Not
yeah.
all at once. Y'all need to slow down. Back off a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Slow
Right.
down.
No, that's a lot of good points there. Like I said, I love when you get up on your soapbox a little bit, because it's good, and you can tell that you're passionate about it. And honestly, you're one of the closest friends I have, and one of the most empathetic guys I know. Your ability to empathize with others is incredible to see. So just something I admire about you in that.
Well, thank you.
But I think it's hard for men a lot of times because, society tells us we're supposed to be this rough and gruff, this tough guy, brushes things off, doesn't let things bother us. We got to be, kind of like Stonewall, right? We got to be just that person. Nothing bothers us. We take shots all the time, and it just bounces off our arm, all these kind of things. But you take enough blows,
Do you think that's a
and
societal thing, or is that like a personal thing? Sorry. Do you think that's like society telling us that we accept that, or is that like a personal thing that we put on ourselves?
to me, I think it's societal. I mean, because you can look at all the big media out there today, whether it's major movie companies, this and that. I mean, you think of like the main characters sometimes like who are men, and usually a lot of times they are guys that are like that, right? They're super macho. They're this. They're not allowed to feel emotions, and that's just. I think it gives, unfortunately, men, but also young boys. As I'm raising my son right now, I think a lot about what is he witnessing? What is he getting as a definition of manliness from society? And it scares me sometimes because of what society and the media can portray. Because I want him to grow up to know that, dude, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to talk about things. It's okay to talk to other guys about deep issues. It's fine. It's actually good. It's healthy. You can only, sweep things under a rug or stuff things in a closet so long before, the dust bunnies explode out of the carpet or the closet explodes from all the stuff you put in there. And that scared me because when guys reach that point in their life, when they've stuffed so much away that they can't handle it anymore. And you said it earlier, we live in a society where unfortunately suicide takes a lot of lives. And I think it comes from a place of sometimes just not being able to feel like we can express those emotions. And it's hard. It's really hard.
And I as you're saying this, John, I can't help but think like the big this podcast is we're talking about leadership. If you can't sit down and look a man in the eye and say, look, man, like one, and this gets a little bit dark, but are you thinking about hurting yourself? Like, that's a tough question to ask, but I will tell you, the more that you ask it, the easier it gets. I've had a few guys that have been real honest and have told me the truth. And you know what? That opens up an entire new conversation, but that's not a question that we ask. And I'll tell you, there are a lot more guys, when you look at studies, there are a lot of guys that think about that. You just have to ask them at the right time. Once you get past like, all right, emotions, we have emotions, we're having a hard day, and, this is going on, that's going on. I think with our backgrounds, we all see the very best and sometimes not the very best of society. But can you actually sit down as a leader and recognize when somebody is looking for encouragement? What somebody's motivation is when they're bringing a problem to you, when they just need a break, when they're feeling, we're talking feelings, when they're feeling overwhelmed. Where is that overwhelm coming from? Is it self-doubt? Is it disbelief? Is it that they don't see the ability in themselves that you as the leader, as the boss, as a teacher, sees in them? And thinking back over the 20 years that I served in the Marine Corps in my current position in a volunteer fire department, there were a handful of incredible leaders. And those leaders stand out because at some point in time or another, we sat down in their office knee to knee and we had a real deep conversation, whether it was about family, whether it was about career, whether it was about our place in this world in relationship to the Creator, and what our mission is. And all of those leaders, they had the ability to sit down and understand at the emotional intelligence level, this is what drives you. This is where you are right now in your life. And then put it forward. If you want to progress, these are the things that you're going to need to do. That's very directive. Asking the questions. And as we grow as leaders beyond positional, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? What do you need to overcome to get there?
That's good. Leaders lead by example. Being in touch with your emotions and being willing to empathize with others, I think definitely should rank high in that. I'm sure we all know, like you said, plenty of leaders who definitely don't showcase any or few emotions or empathetic tendencies towards the people that work with them or serve underneath them or whatever the case may be. And just the atmosphere that creates is toxic, it's tense, it's horrible, and it's never going to last long. Unfortunately, people are going to leave or switch stations or maybe try to transfer to a different unit or, switch school, whatever the case may be. However, that process works. People are going to be like, I'm out. I know this dude don't care about me. Why would I want to work under someone who doesn't care?
Yep, absolutely. And Ian, I think as a leader, I think being in tune with the people around you. So, I mean, leaders obviously are leading people, right? So you have people around you that you are leading. I think you need to be in tune as to how the people that are following you are feeling. I think a lot of times, unfortunately, we see things that go on, see behaviors, see actions, and it's really easy to just look the other way. They're having a moment emotionally, and it's almost to be like, okay, well, they're just having a moment. I'm going to look the other way. I'm not going to engage with that. It's whatever. It's just whatever. I'm not going to do it. But I think the sign of a really true leader is going to pick up on these, notice it, and then, like Michael said, he's going to ask the question. He's going to actually engage in the conversation, because by engaging in the conversation, you're showing caring for the individual. You show that you care enough about that person that you see how they're feeling or how they're acting. Like you said, Ian, earlier, like how you're feeling versus how you're acting. And then you can start asking those questions to get to the root of what's really going on and how you can best maybe lead them, acknowledging first that how they're feeling is real and it's true to them, and being able to guide them from there. I think that's a true sign of a good leader, is not just looking the other way, but really showing that level of caring.
For sure. I do want to point out that this is all, you can't lead someone empathetically if you yourself haven't in touch with your own emotions. If you haven't done the work yourself, if you haven't worked through your crap, if you haven't gotten in touch, it's called emotional intelligence. If you haven't worked on and improved your emotional intelligence, then you are not going to be able to make that connection with someone else. If you are already in a leadership position or seek to be in a leadership position, you're not going to be the best leader you can possibly be, especially if you truly do care about those that you're leading, without increasing your own emotional intelligence and being in constant check of your emotions, emotional self-control, all that stuff. Because then it's just sympathy. Sympathy is being able to be like, I feel you, I feel you, man. That sucks. That's rough. It's being able to see them from our perspective, kind of being like to make that connection from our perspective. Empathy goes so much deeper. It's being able to put ourselves in their shoes and really, like you guys kept saying, is get to the bottom of it. We can't do that if we haven't done the work on ourselves. It's just not going to happen. We might try, it will fail miserably, and we might actually end up making it worse because we have no idea what we're doing. Just a quick thought.
So as we're probably approaching 30 minutes here, and I don't know how long we were planning on going, but I want to ask a question, like, where do you guys find those connections that you can have to actually, one, work on yourself, to grow with other men, but also to serve others?
Go for it, John.
No, that's a great question to ask. For me, I have been very blessed by God to have a few men in my life who have become closer than family. These are men that I paced life with for the last, Ian, how long's it been?
2.5 years?
2.5, 3.5? I don't even know at this point.
Something
Three
like
and a half
that.
years. Yeah. As you can tell, Ian's one of those guys. But I've been so blessed to have men in my life who really help me in life, just in general. We can just be anything, just from sounding boards, places where we can vent. If we're just having a rough day and we just don't want to implode on our spouse, we can go to each other. If it's seeking wisdom and advice, if it's empathizing with each other, this was just brought about by men who are seeking God together in similar phases of life, who really were looking for brotherhood, really just looking for fellowship. And, the connections are real. They're authentic. We hold each other accountable, and we're not afraid to be emotional. We're not afraid to tell each other just how sucky a day has been, or maybe how great a day has been. We're not afraid to show the scars. And I think that's really important with guys, is not being afraid to do that. We don't have to be perfect for each other. We can just be who we are. We can be authentic. We can be real. And, one of our brothers just recently lost his grandfather. He came on and he was just bearing his heart and soul. And it's like, that's real. It's also rare.
Yeah.
We regularly acknowledge that it's not the norm. but it could be. But it does take guys that are willing to be open and honest with each other, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, man. It's been a total blessing too. The development of the technological age and social media has made connection even more just, I don't want to necessarily say easy because I know some people find it difficult to make connections, but there's not like a lack of resources out there. There's not. There's great guys groups out there, dads groups, fathers groups, singles groups, just men groups in general that are really looking to provide safe spaces like that. There are, men's ministries out there that add this, excuse me, sorry for your ear holes, that spiritual component of it, if that's what you're looking for. I still am a huge fan of face to face. I still think that you can't, like, that's just something you need as well. Like, no matter how closeted or standoffish you think you are, by all means, get yourself plugged into some groups online, whatever, some good groups that you are actually going to, receive from, like John and I did. That's how we ended up meeting. But also don't, and Mike, you too now, brother. Like, I cannot wait to see you on this cruise, bro. And you've become a close friend, in such in a year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's all online.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we're gonna be hugging on Mike is gonna be next month, and it's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But like that face-to-face interaction, man, like, even if it's just one person, find yourself a trusted person who loves you enough to listen empathetically, who you respect as a leader, who you respect to be like, hey, he's been through some crap and he's kind of where I want to be. Pull him aside, be like, yo, will you just listen? Will you talk? Even if you're looking for it, hey, can you mentor me? Go see a counselor if you're looking for someone. I know it's scary. There are a lot of bad ones out there, but there are also a lot of good ones. And a lot of them truly do care. And if nothing else, it offers that, unbiased third party that they'll see things and catch things that you weren't even aware of, and that helps you break it down. So, online makes it easy, but face to face is important. You need that brotherly connection. You need to be able to feel it. You need to be able to be there. And it's just, you can find it in both. I encourage y'all to do both. Whatever's easier, start there. If it's easier for you to jump into some groups on Facebook and, kind of feel your way around first and maybe make some friends in your area or whatever, do that. If it's easier for you, like, I need to go spill my guts now, if I can hit up a counselor or a friend or something, heck, reach out to any of us three that are on here right now. If you are struggling, if you are seriously like, you do not know where to turn, or you're like, listen, I know things need to change, but I can't do this by myself. Or even if you're just like, hey, I got some questions. You guys brought up some interesting topics, or you guys brought up some dumb topics. We don't care. Just read, whether you agree with us or not, reach out, guys. Like, we are here. We do want to make this platform available for anyone who's listening for any reason to feel like I hate the term safe space because that's so stupid.
School term right there.
I know, dude. It's horrible. I don't like it.
It's a place of growth.
Thank you. Boom. That's it.
There's the Marine term. See,
that's
much better.
It. Yep. That's it. That's it right there. This place is a place of growth, and we invite everyone into it, man. No one is left out, for sure. So, that's it. Anything else before we close it out, fellas? That was a solid question, Mike. Nicely done.
That's a tough one, yeah. And everybody's different, but no, man. I appreciate you guys having me. This is a tough topic. Emotions, men. I mean, the two, they're not usually in the same sense with one another. But you can be a better leader. You can be a better provider. You can be all the things better if you recognize and understand where you're coming from. And you have the motivation. Maybe it's growing from the good. Maybe it's growing from the bad. Whatever it may be, if you understand why. Yeah, so I appreciate
That's it. Of course, dude. I love this little group we got going here. And thank you guys, everyone that's listened and given us feedback and supported us on Spotify and YouTube already. Really, really, really appreciate it. If you haven't already, go like and subscribe us or follow us. I think Spotify's a follow. Give us a rating. So far, our ratings on YouTube have been phenomenal, and that just kind of blows us away, man. And we are so grateful for you guys. If you got any questions at all, drop us a DM on the Facey Space, and I think we're on Instagram too, John, right?
Yep, we're there too. Yep. We're
on all of it. So, yeah, man, we appreciate your support, and we will see you next time, same bat channel for episode 5. But y'all, that's it for episode 4. Thank y'all for tuning